Oh man. So, day 30 is here on 30 Thoughts Till Dawn. This is the final day, and the title of this one is Awakening to the Journey Was My Destination All Along. Yeah, that's pretty much the answer to this. But let's listen to this one and we can talk about it after. So I don't know if you caught what just happened there or not, but yes, the final track is a complete loop into track one. It is a complete loop into track one. It circles right back around and ends up right where we started because I mean, if you even look at the title of this track, Day 30, or Thought 30, Awakening to the Journey was my destination all along. Keyword awakening. So the whole purpose of this whole entire thing was realizing that the beauty is the journey, and we're constantly growing. We are constantly re-waking up, rebirthing to ourselves, to our spirits. And the destination isn't even a place. It is literally realizing that the journey is what holds the beauty. Awakening to the journey was my destination all along, which ties right back into track one, A Damp, Dark Awakening. I'm sorry. I just find this to be so cool. Conceptually, I have been listening to this album on repeat. I've been done with it for a couple days now, and at the time of this recording, and I have listened to this album about 5 times from cover to cover. And I have put it on loop. All you have to do is click the little loop icon. I have it loaded into my iTunes, my personal iTunes. It's in the process of being pushed to the stores, where when this comes out, it will actually be in stores. You'll be able to get it on Spotify and on iTunes and wherever else you get music. And so, but all you have to do is click that little repeat button, and it loops right back around flawlessly. It is gapless from finish to start. It literally seamlessly goes right back into A Damp, Dark Awakening. I love it because it is so symbolic of our journey as humans, constantly growing, constantly having to come to a place of realization, and then getting uncomfortable, realizing how did we get here, going through a dry place, learning, finding new connections along the way, traversing the fear of the open waters and not knowing what's ahead, overcoming the trees, the forests, to become content as we journey into these small villages and meeting people that teach us things, ancient rituals passed down, to just come back to a place of realizing, wow, this is the beauty, this is the journey, and just to do it all again right from the beginning. And I love the idea of a gapless album. This is something that around track 15, I don't know that exactly, but around track 15, I started having this idea of a gapless album. I didn't know if I was going to do it or not. I didn't even know if it would end up coming to a place where I would like even think it could work, but it just came together so divinely, so perfectly, and I love it so much. So a little bit about this track, just the logistics. It's a lot of piano. It's a lot of tin whistle again because it has that raspy tone that I really liked, and I wanted to end with a spiritual high note, so you hear the violins and the cellos come in and all that, and the orchestral type right there towards the end. Then it trickles back. The rhythm elements in this are, I don't have my big jug on me, but if you go back and watch track one, you'll hear this twisting and tapping of the lid of the big jug. It's in the dishwasher right now, sorry. And then you'll hear the clinging against the side, where I was just hitting the side of it with a drumstick wrapped in a paper towel. And those were literally pulled from track one, hence the reason they flow so perfectly together. I was using the same drum elements from track one with a completely different tone track here on track 30. And as those kind of build, they get louder and louder until it becomes just that droning hit that fades into track one all over again. And so that is really what I have to say about this. It is about the journey. It's not about a destination. We're all growing spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally. We are growing and trying to learn more as we go along. And that is just the representation of this, is that spiritual journey and the constant rebirth and exploration of that. So I really hope you enjoy this album. I would love if you would go find it on iTunes, Spotify, add it to your playlist, listen to it from cover to cover, let it loop through just so you can understand what I'm talking about. And I really hope it emotionally moves you. I have found myself listening to it. I've listened to it on a car trip, a 2.5 hour car trip. I have listened to it in my my AirPods, just chilling on the front deck one day from cover to cover. I've listened to it watering my garden and going for walks. And every time I've actually found myself getting lost in the music. And as someone who wrote it, I can tell you that that's like a super big deal to me, where I'm able to kind of listen to it outside of myself. So I really hope you enjoyed this trek. I look forward to doing more of these things moving forward. And I am so excited for you to just be able to have this and this be my gift to you. And I just really hope it brings you as much joy as it brought me even though it was probably one of the hardest things I have ever had to consecutively do because it takes hours. Normally, it takes dozens of hours to lay down a track, and trying to do all these in one day has been insane. But I'm really amazed of how well it all came together for the limited amount of time. So if you haven't done so far, I would love for you to subscribe to this channel. Let me know what you think about this album, this track, all of that in the comment section below. And be sure to find me on my other socials where I'll continue sharing all the fun things that we have coming up. And until this next YouTube series, I will talk to you soon, and thank you so much for hanging out with me for the last 30 days.